So, folks, there is a guy, Zohran Mamdani, and holy moly, he's been on a tear, okay? He's been on such a tear.
I just want just one interview where he does it in full young cardamom persona.
You know
rhymes
he's gotta
everything
do
and
it.
refuses to explain.
He's gotta do it at some point, right? He's gotta come out as, he's gotta do a rap as mayor. I believe in
Is the
him.
parable of the goon cave that reality is all just splooges on a wall?
Yeah, and some people, they never escape the goon cave to goon out in the open, free and clear. Don't read into what I just said too much, okay? Don't do that. Anyway, thank you for the dono, Sake Tanuki, Paladin Lost. But I think by far, Zohran Mamdani right now is absolutely killing it, and you can tell based on what kind of articles go up about him in the New York Post. And this is maybe one of my favorite articles of all time. Longtime New Yorkers fume about being hit with massive pied-à-terre tax bills. Is this a witch hunt? Now, for those of you who don't know, Zohran Mamdani helped get passed a tax on people in New York who had a second home worth like over $5 million. And I gotta be honest, literally no one in the universe is like, oh yeah, those people shouldn't be paying more in taxes. What? Like, literally no one in the universe. No one's like, well, if they can afford a second home worth over $5 million, like, clearly they're struggling to make ends meet. And it's just very funny. But this entire piece, longtime residents, some who have called the Big Apple home for decades and own a single abode in the city, told the Post they were shocked to get hit with five-figure tax bills they believe were mistakenly mailed out and are now being forced to navigate a bureaucratic labyrinth to prove it. Whoever's behind this, who I can only assume is the mayor, didn't take the 30 seconds to research. Yeah, because we know that mayors are the ones personally responsible for mailing out tax bills. You know, in addition to all of the lengthy tasks that they do, they also take care of the bureaucratic filing and mailing. But, said Karen Young, president and founder of New York and Paris-based beauty marketing company The Young Group, who has lived in New York since 1972. It's just like, you have a business that's based in New York City and Paris, and you're complaining about a five-figure tax bill?
Realize that the law affects a lot of people who own luxury houses in Florida that they live in more than half the year to evade NY state income taxes.
Yeah, no, 100%. I have zero sympathy for these leeches. And also, none of these quotes do them any favors. She was stunned when she received her letter from the City Department of Finance asking for $43,000 in pied-à-terre tax. I know I'm saying it wrong. I don't care. On her West 95th Street brownstone, which she's lived in with her husband for 30 years. Is this a witch hunt? She asked, exasperated. Like, guys, I don't know if you understand how much a New York City brownstone building costs. But, like, oh no, you got a tax bill for $43,000 on a home that you own as a second home? And it's a New York City brownstone? New York City brownstones cost, like, millions of dollars on the low end. Yeah, like, the lowest cost I've ever seen for a brownstone, and this was, like, maybe 10 years ago, you know, is like $1 million. Those prices have only gone up. And, like, this is ridiculously.
Oh no. How will the Vanderbilts possibly survive their seven-figure taxes?
Guys, think of the American aristocracy. How are they going to survive when they're taxed like this? Is it a witch hunt? I just sort of line up all of these things and think, why are you picking on us, Young said?
Ain't no violin small enough.
Ain't no violin small enough. Ain't no stream trickling enough. This is crazy. These people, there's literally no violin small enough.
No, not a witch hunt, It's a feast. Eat DA 5555
Eat DA 555 Rich. What? All right. As a faithful New Yorker since 1972, I didn't cheat on the city. I find it not only insulting but painful. Is anybody paying any attention or any thinking or 2 minutes of research? Just look me up. You know, actually, let's do that just real quick. I haven't done this yet. Karen Young net worth. Her company was the Young Group. Actually, let's just check up net worth of the Young Group. Oh, the Young Group manages $1.9 billion in assets. Won't somebody think of the poor, beleaguered president of the marketing firm that manages so much money? Maybe this isn't the correct one. Maybe this is unfair. You know what? Let's do the Young Group Cosmetics. The Young Group NY, actually. I mean, if this isn't the if it's the Morgan Stanley company, then they are worth a fuck ton of money. If they are not them, they're still worth a fuck ton of money, from what I can see. Either way, I don't think they're hurting for money. Let's take a look here. It's a cumbersome process to prove that I'm a primary resident, which just seems absurd. My jury summons come here, I pay my taxes from here, my utilities. Despite the department telling her the process to appeal or challenge the bill was as easy as uploading a driver's license, Young said she was forced to pay her estate lawyer to get the proper documentation after spending 3 fruitless hours on the website trying to do it herself. Apparently, they haven't checked their own website. And I'm tech savvy, she insisted. Oh no, a wealthy person had to spend 3 hours doing paperwork? The horror. The horror! This is all because of that Muslim terrorist, Zohran Mamdani. The tax is meant to apply to 1 to 3 family homes worth at least $5 million in co-ops and condominiums valued at $1 million or more that are unoccupied, non-primary residences according to the legislation. Diane Francis, a Canadian journalist, entrepreneur, and self-described part-time New Yorker, said she previously owned an apartment on the Upper East Side, but sold it and now has a pad on West 57th Street and 8th Avenue that she purchased in 2022. Despite it being her secondary residence, Francis pointed out that she spends a lot of money in the Big Apple, including sales and property taxes. I think it's unfair to pick on people, and I don't know how they're going to police that. I think it's very foolish. I pay condo fees, I pay real estate taxes, I go out and eat, I go to the theater, I go to movies, I spend money everywhere, I buy stuff. I mean, I'm a profit center. She said, estimating she spends about 3 months a year in New York. Who gives a fuck? You know who spends more money? Know who spends more time and contributes more to the local economy? The people who live there every day of the year. Like, fuck, these whiny crybaby bitches with millions of dollars. Why are they picking on us? I don't understand it. Genuinely, one of the best things to ever happen to New York City is Zohran Mamdani. And, like, it's wonderful to see these people crying. In a similar vein, it's wonderful to see that Zohran Mamdani's success comes at perhaps one of the most inopportune moments for the wider Democratic Party establishment that would love nothing more than to see him fail, specifically because our good Minnesotan friend Ken Martin is apparently just absolutely beefing it when it comes to trying to run and manage the Democratic Party. This is a piece in the New York Times that is kind of incredible. We've talked about Ken Martin's incompetence here before, but this story is about him apparently getting reported to HR because he threw a phone at one of his employees' desks because he can't raise enough money for the Democratic Party and is also failing in all of his other respects to, like, give a backbone to Democrats to get them to fight. And, like, people fucking hate the Democratic Party right now. It's like at an all-time low. The only people in the Democratic Party who people broadly like right now are people like Zohran Mamdani. It's the Mamdani left. It's the DSA. It's AOC. And honestly, this is an incredibly great read. So I'm just going to link it in chat for you guys. What was wrong? Should he not have done that? No, he shouldn't have done that. It turns out you shouldn't abuse your employees. But all that being said, this is happening, and one of the best things is that despite all of the crying from the richest people in New York City, despite the opposition from the Democratic establishment, the anemic opposition, but opposition nonetheless, Zohran Mamdani is out there getting shit done.
Get these fucking property tourists out of my fucking city, holy shit. But I spend some money, boohoo. Shut up, wah wah. I spend more on my groceries yearly than her in 3 months. Give me a brownstone.
Yeah, everyone who lives in New York should get a brownstone. But check this out. Now, what was that for? Well, it's because even though all these wealthy people are getting hit by these taxes, turns out average, everyday working New Yorkers and small business owners in New York love
the richest
Zohran
boomers
Mamdani.
You don't know.
Yeah, exactly. The richest boomers who would never talk to somebody who makes under 7 figures, But it's truly incredible. I'm over the moon. The New York small business owners rejoice as Mamdani cuts red tape. Initiatives included cutting permits just to serve ice cream, amount to a sweeping program of deregulation. Red Scare, the Democratic Socialist mayor of New York City, spent this week talking about red tape. On Tuesday, Zohran Mamdani, the politician at the center of a revived right-wing panic about socialists and purported communists winning elections across America, posted a video on X of himself putting a sheet of paper with the phrase red tape into a paper shredder. Other pieces of paper with phrases such as cumbersome fees and fines and a permit you need to just serve ice cream were shredded too. The video, set to Wu-Tang Clan's If Time Is Money, shows Mamdani joining a handful of city officials and small business owners, throwing the resulting paper shreds into the air like confetti. New York small business owners have said it over and over, endless paperwork and the uncertainty of dealing with city government has made getting their stores up and running too difficult. And bodega owners no longer need a separate license to sell the same product outside the store, like fruit or flowers. You don't need a double permit anymore to sell the things you're already permitted to sell inside your store. This is great. And when we're talking, what's wonderful is it absolutely disarms and disables the attacks against Zohran Mamdani being like a communist who's anti-business or some shit. And they got nothing. Small business owners love this guy. He's racking up W after W and it's set to Wu-Tang music. What a wonderful situation for New York City. Love that for them. And it's just W after W with this guy. Just the other day, he made headlines for putting out this video.
Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal, the architect of a horrific genocide against the Palestinian people. He is responsible for the killing of more than 73,000 people, for the maiming of tens of thousands of children as those who survive undergo amputation without anesthesia, for the targeting of neonatal hospitals and maternity care centers, denying newborns even the chance to live, for the countless people he starved as he blocked food and humanitarian aid from reaching them, for the gunning down of hundreds of aid workers and journalists. And just last month, the UN confirmed that Palestinian children continue to be deliberately targeted and killed by Israeli armed forces. more than 8 months after the so-called ceasefire. The list goes on and on, all as we, as Americans, pay for the bombs that do the killing. There is a reason the International Criminal Court issued a warrant for his arrest. As human beings, we have spent generations building a shared understanding that there are crimes so grave they offend all of humanity. Anyone, with their eyes, with their heart, with their conscience, should recognize the devastation he has wrought and understand that he belongs before a court of law. As I've said, I agree with the ICC that Benjamin Netanyahu should be arrested and tried for his crimes, as I do for anyone else charged by the ICC. My administration has reviewed every avenue available under applicable law to determine whether New York City could execute the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant if Benjamin Netanyahu came here. It is clear that we do not have the independent legal authority to enforce this warrant. The federal government, however, does, and I call on them to join the ICC and execute this warrant. And I want to be equally clear. Benjamin Netanyahu is not welcome in New York City, nor is any other war criminal at large. While we cannot end the genocide on our own, we can decide whether our silence will become another weapon, and we can examine every tool we have to defend the humanity and dignity of all people. That is my commitment to you.
Like, genuinely just a good dude. I have massive amounts of respect for anyone who goes out there and says, it's just the right thing to do. It's just the right thing to do. And when it comes to Benjamin Netanyahu, I know that there are people out there who are like, no, you can't arrest Benjamin Netanyahu. However, it's worth noting that the American public thinks that, yeah, we should arrest Benjamin Netanyahu. 49% of Americans think that Benjamin Netanyahu should be arrested if he sets foot on U.S. soil. Half of America. Only 27% say he shouldn't be. Yeah, someone tell Trump that arresting Netanyahu would get his approval numbers to go up. It's true. But, like, what's wild is that Zohran Mamdani comes out and he's like, we don't have the legal authority to arrest Netanyahu if he comes to New York City, but he's not welcome here. But this caused an entire news cycle to happen around, like, oh, is he being anti-Semitic about this? Check out this clip. I think this is from CNN.
Some Jewish groups have noted that in your video, you didn't include a reference to October 7th or Hamas leaders who carried out that attack. And it's not easy always to pin you down on this subject, forgive me, but because there aren't many perfect analogies to draw. For instance, not all world leaders or alleged war criminals have ICC warrants, or they're not planning to come to the UN General Assembly, or perhaps they're dead. So my question is that, would you, if circumstances were different, would you have vowed to arrest the leaders of Hamas who perpetrated the October 7th attack if they were visiting New York? And if so, why not include something about that to show New Yorkers that, you know, you're presenting a more balanced approach? Why not?
What's so interesting about this question, we just watched the clip. You can hear him say, no at-large war criminals are welcome in New York City. Like, it's pretty unambiguous. These reporters are hearing what they want to hear.
Include that in your video.
Didn't the ICC put forward a warrant for Yahya Sinwar?
I mean, I know he's dead. Yeah.
Yes, but my point is that they did. And in the video, I made very clear, as I have before, that my interest in executing that warrant is not specific to Benjamin Netanyahu, but to anyone who they put a...
Oh, that's a great question, Robert WJR. What I don't understand and can't get an answer for is, what good is the ICC if no one can arrest him? How was it done at the end of World War II? How it was done at the end of World War II was that the United States federal government was in favor of arresting those war criminals. If the United States federal government decided to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu, he would be arrested. Like, instantaneously. The federal government right now is controlled by a drooling moron who is a white Christian nationalist. And so they're very clearly not going to do that because it's not in Donald Trump's best interest, and there's no guiding principle that supersedes Trump's whims, you know? So, like, the difference is, back in the 1940s, you know, they were willing to arrest Nazi war criminals. Today, the United States federal government is not willing to arrest Israeli war criminals.
A warrant towards for war crimes and crimes against humanity. And part of that is a reflection of a universal politics. And it is from a universal politics that I can look on October 7th and describe it for what it is, which is a horrific war crime. And I can also look at Benjamin Netanyahu and see the way that he has orchestrated this genocide and also deem him to similarly be a war criminal. And I think especially at a time when there are those...
Yeah, that's also true. The ICC probably wasn't around in the immediate aftermath of World War II.
In Washington who are discussing measures to take apart the International Criminal Court, what so many are looking for is a sense that there is in fact a rule of law across the world where there are crimes that are so grave that they offend all of humanity. And I believe that we should hold those who perpetrate them accountable, no matter who they are or where they're from. And when it comes to the ICC, they've put forward warrants, whether it's Yahya Sinwar, Benjamin Netanyahu, I think a few other members of the Israeli government. I believe that all of them should be honored.
Some Jewish groups have noted.
Hell yeah. What a pitch perfect answer from Mamdani too. Like, he's so good. He's so great. And like, one of the best parts is that people are constantly trying to vilify Zohran Mamdani. They're trying to say, like, he's evil. He's setting us up for terrorist attacks. You know, they're trying to be racist about him, etc., etc., etc. And then you tune into what he's doing, and it's like, oh, he made it easier to sell ice cream to children. Oh, he's taxing the wealthiest fucks who hate their neighbors in New York City. Okay. Oh, he wants to arrest war criminals. All of these sound like unambiguously good things. And then you're like, well, maybe it's the way he's presenting the information that's getting people mad. And it's like...
prior to the buses, there were trolleys and streetcars in the city. So really, New York City has been...
I don't think he's making people mad by doing this.
When did the switchover happen?
That's a long time ago.
Yeah?
Yeah. I can't remember.
Like, you can't sit there and pretend like this guy who's playing Mario Kart and trying to get people faster public transit isn't a villain. Are you kidding me? Dude's sitting there playing Mario Kart while talking about the history of public transit in New York City. It's such a wonderful little piece of engagement with the public. And honestly, I'm thrilled. It's so great. And then on top of it, he keeps winning. He keeps fucking winning. Look at this. He got Lina Khan a new job. We got Lina Khan. She's Khan. The conning is back on. Let's go. Mayor Zohran Mamdani's uneasy truce with New York's business elite was tested again Wednesday when he appointed antitrust crusader Lina Khan to a formal post in his administration. Khan will chair the city's Economic Development Board, which oversees the leasing and use of huge chunks of city property, including Hudson Yards. And if you think that Lina Khan isn't going to be absolutely ruthless when it comes to unfair monopolies against the citizens of New York, and unfair business practices, and like going after shitty landlords, etc. Like, she's gonna be doing so much good work for the people of New York City. It's gonna be ridiculous. She is incredible at her job. She was one of the best parts of the Biden administration, hands down. And like, getting her on Zohran Mamdani's team is perfect. And like, you have here Lina Khan coming into a position of authority where she can actually exercise some level of power in one of the largest cities in the country. And on top of that, Zohran Mamdani is going out there and cutting red tape for small businesses. So it's hard to argue that he's anti-business when he's actively helping businesses. Like, that's crazy. He's making himself goddamn politically bulletproof. And then he's out here like doing great work. Look at him. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani has issued the following statement in support of the union. New York City stands with IFPTE, Local 98, and the civil servants of the Army Corps of Engineers New York District against this reckless plan to relocate their offices out of the city. New Yorkers deserve transparency, not a process that strips good union jobs from our city in the dark. I stand with my colleagues in government on both sides of the aisle and calling on the federal government to keep the experts who do this vital work from making our communities more resilient to safeguarding our harbors and waterways right here in New York. Like, he's out there standing with the unions. He's out there helping our boys in uniform. Like, dude's doing the good work. And on top of that, I want you guys to see this, because this spurred another entire, like, all of these stories spurred entire news cycles. Right? Check this out. Here we go.
For welcoming us here and for your lifetime of service to the people of New York. You know, for nearly 30 years, you have led the fight against hunger here in our city, growing this operation from a small emergency food program to a leading food distributor that serves hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers each year and provides programming on how to live a healthier life. I also want to acknowledge leaders here from our administration, our Deputy Mayor for Economic Justice, Julie Su, and our incredible interim President and CEO, Jeannie Pak of the Economic Development Corporation. And I would be remiss if I didn't also acknowledge a future Assembly member here in the crowd, Christian Celeste. And we are here today speaking of leaders in government, outside of government, and we also know that alongside us today are so many leaders, whether they have been in civil service, or also we have organized labor who is here with us, RWDSU, Unite Here Local 100. And we come together, and I ask that we begin by reflecting on the number 30. Its history, its significance, and its future here in New York City. A token to ride the subway cost 30 cents in 1970. Which was a 50% increase from the previous year that sparked outcry, protests, and led to 12 arrests. The digits 30 have been donned by some of our most beloved athletes, from the Liberties' Breonna Stewart, to the Yankees' Willie Randolph, to the Rangers' Henrik Lundqvist. And researchers estimate that at least 30% of grocery stores across the 5 boroughs are currently playing the song Drops of Jupiter at this very moment. However, we know that for many New Yorkers, 30% at the grocery store means something very different. Since 2019, food prices have soared at grocery stores around the country
by the way,
roughly 30%. In fact,
it's gotten even worse. New data came out. Let's just take a look over at this AP story was this from today? No, it was from 4 days ago. Food prices have actually gone up across the United States by about 40%. You are paying 40% more today than you were in 2019. It's gotten worse. But, at least one guy is doing something about keeping these prices down.
In fact, talk to shoppers around the city, and you'll often hear the same frustration. Wages have not kept up. Making matters even worse, some corporations have built out technology that allows for something called surveillance pricing, collecting personal data to charge some people more than others for the same carton of eggs, for the same gallon of milk.
This is one of the reasons why AI surveillance and the tracking is so dangerous, because it is reaching that level where they're able to target with that kind of accuracy. Why should you pay 30% more than someone right next to you in line just because you happen to have more of an internet data trail than another person? That's disgusting.
All of this leaves too many New Yorkers feeling like groceries are out of reach. And that is frankly unacceptable, which is why city government is stepping in to make people's lives more affordable. Today, I am proud to announce a collection of essential staples that will be predictably 30% cheaper at all 5 of our city-run grocery stores.
That's right, folks. 30% discounts at the municipal grocery stores that he's launching. Let's fucking go. Let's go. This is just unambiguously good. People in places who live in places that were formerly food deserts having access to cheaper food is a great thing. Feeding people is an unambiguous good.
This core set of goods will include all fresh produce, meat, and seafood, along with 20 other essential items like cheese, milk, and bread. Here's how it will work. Once a month, our 5 city-run grocery stores will set prices.
Is this a dude? No, Zohran Mamdani is a full-ass man.
For this core set of goods at 30% below typical retail prices. No exceptions, no gimmicks. The savings will last for the entire month. That means no weekly fluctuations nor sticker shock at the checkout line. Not for our seniors living on fixed incomes, nor for the parents who rely on a regular supply of apple slices to keep toddler tantrums at bay. Now, can we all see this incredible example of produce in my hand? Now, you will see these plantains here, so for anyone wondering how much these beautiful plantains might cost, you can use this QR code or head to grocery.nyc to access our policy report. I'm going to demonstrate exactly what that means.
Look at him go!
Ladies and gentlemen, the QR code does work. You can see this here.
Wow, this commie bastard using QR codes to make government services accessible? How dare he? Oh no! What if the poors are able to buy the food that was intended for them to buy? The horror!
There you can learn more about our city-owned grocery store program, including the 30% discount. 30% off adds up to real money for New Yorkers, with an estimated $90 saved on grocery bills each month. That is more than $1,000 saved every year. And just as important as money, those savings add up to time. For many, that 30% discount is the difference between an evening spent around the dinner table with family or working another double shift to make ends meet. Our vision of affordable, well-run, city-owned grocery stores can only be accomplished with experienced operators who know how to source products, stock the shelves, and help answer shopper questions. So today, we are also issuing an RFP for private operators to help us with the day-to-day management of our 5 city-run grocery stores. If you know how to run a grocery store and you want to do more to help your fellow New Yorkers, I encourage you to head to grocery.nyc or scan the QR code to learn more about how to apply. As we make these stores a reality, we are committed to ensuring those who work here will have good contracts for good jobs, with store workers receiving family-sustaining wages and benefits. In the wealthiest city, in the wealthiest country, in the history of the world, no New Yorker should have to worry about being able to afford to feed their family. This sentiment, frankly, is not new. More than a century ago, Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia witnessed the food riots of 1917.
God, I love how up to date he is and like how well read he is on LaGuardia. Like it's crazy. He has an anecdote for literally every single time he's in front of a camera. And why that's useful and great is that it allows him to draw a connection between what he's doing and what people in the past who are universally beloved in New York City have done. It allows him to draw this through line that then, in turn, validates and gives him more of a precedent to claim and strengthen his own political position. It's brilliant stuff.
By immigrant mothers incensed with soaring food prices. Those mothers took to the streets to overturn push carts and eventually called for a boycott of marked up goods. Years later, when he became mayor, he spearheaded the creation of municipally owned markets to reduce the cost of groceries for those same immigrant mothers. He did so because he believed in a simple definition of the task of government: to make people's lives better. Today, we are one step closer to fulfilling that fundamental responsibility. Thank you very much. Now with that, I'm going to pass it over to our Deputy Mayor, Julie Su.
Oh no! Guys, he's doing it. He's doing it in a charming way. Oh no! Oh no, guys! He's gonna make it happen. He's making the socialist grocery stores a reality. The horror! I just, it's silly. It's silly as hell. And, I don't know. I think he's just absolutely nailing it. Absolutely nailing it. Even the New York Times, which have been pretty anti-Mamdani, can't really spin this in any way that sounds terrible. A 30% discount on produce, meat, bread, and milk. Well, that just sounds great. It could save shoppers about $90 per month, or roughly $1,000 per year.
The Republicans have pushed, socialism is when the government does stuff. If Mamdani, a socialist, does good stuff using the government, suddenly socialism is good even when it's not properly defined.
Socialism is when the government does stuff.
That is how it be, you know? Frank Garcia, you have to go down so far to find like a criticism here. Frank Garcia, chairman of the Multicultural Business Coalition, a group that opposes the stores, said that the city's discounts would put our businesses out of business. How are you going to compete with that? He said. That's the thing. Nobody is competing with them because they're opening in food deserts where people don't have access to food. The entire reason these businesses are being opened by the city is because no private businesses were stepping in to fill those voids. So there's literally no one to run out of business. Also, the Taffy Bot, thank you for being a member. And also, yes, Kash Patel did just have his defamation lawsuit against a blogger thrown out for calling him a googly-eyed Kremlin bitch, which is very, very funny. Anyway, Zohran's just absolutely killing it. I love what he's doing here, and frankly, it's wonderful. We live in a great time when it comes to Zohran Mamdani. He's nailing it.
How is Gristedes still in NYC? Same goes for Cuomo.
Wait, didn't Cuomo say that he was like gonna move to the moon if he lost? Isn't that just accurate and thus not defamation? Well, that's what the judge said, essentially. Megan Fox's giant boobs. And Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. Appreciated. God, I hope Cuomo got hit by that pied-à-terre tax, because that would just be genuinely extraordinarily funny. Oh, fuck. Everything is great. And honestly, what's even funnier is that the attempts to try and smear Zohran Mamdani are just failing spectacularly. Specifically, here's the New York Post running a story that says thousands of 9/11 families demand Mamdani be banned from the 25th anniversary ceremony, which is pretty funny, specifically because there aren't thousands of families demanding Mamdani stay away from the 25th anniversary ceremony. The New York Post story is about a petition on change. This is according to Popular Information and Judd Legum, and you guys should pay attention to what he writes. About a change.org petition started by Giovanni Galante, whose wife, Grace Catherine Galante, was among the nearly 3,000 victims of the 9/11 attacks. Quote, "We, the family members of those murdered on 9/11, write to express our concern regarding the potential inclusion of Zohran Mamdani in the 25th year commemorative events," the petition states. The story went viral on right-wing social media, garnering millions of views on X. Within hours, the story was being featured on Fox News, the cable network that's owned by Murdoch. "I can fully understand why the families wouldn't want him there," Fox News pundit Tommy Lauren said Sunday. On the same program, Fox News' senior national correspondent Rich Edson suggested that Mamdani could demonstrate respect for the families by not showing up. And what Judd Legum uncovered here is that the text of the New York Post article directly contradicts its cover. While the cover says that thousands of 9/11 families demand Mamdani be banned, the article itself says the petition has collected over 1,100 signatures in a little over a week, including from at least 300 victims' families. But the 300 victims' families claim was initially repeated across right-wing and Jewish press, including Red State, The Times of Israel, Daily Wire, Post Millennial, Jerusalem Post, Just the News, and I-24 News. By Monday evening, the story had hit CBS News New York. Thousands of 9/11 victims' families are asking New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani not to attend this year's solemn remembrance ceremony, the network reported. After Popular Information reached out for comment, the line was removed. A revised article on the CBS website says the petition has purportedly drawn thousands of signatures, including some victims' families. And in an interview with Popular Information, Galante acknowledged that there was no actual list of family members who had signed the petition. "We don't have a list," Galante said. Rather, the 300 figure that organizers shared with the New York Post was an estimate based on how they believed the petition spread before it received much publicity. We all know each other, so think about it. If you know 10 people and they give it to 10 more people, they know that lost. That's how we got the 300 number. I don't go through the list and look at the names. So the story here is that we eyeballed it in the same way, a 5-year-old baking cookies for the first time just eyeballed the ingredients. I'm sure the cookies will turn out fine. It was verified by our whole ass. Incredible stuff going on. This is the best criticism they have of Zohran Mamdani, and it's literally, we made it the fuck up. Amazing. It's like making the font size 40 so your essay is 5 pages long. Yeah, 100%. It's crazy. Why are you trans people so dumb? Smarter than you, jackass! You can call into the Transatlantic Call-In Show, where we take debates from people like you who think trans people don't deserve rights and are bad for some reason. And then we wipe the floor with you on the regular. I literally have a side gig dunking on people like you in debates. Check it out. It's over on The Line. You can find me over there. I'm on every so often for the Transatlantic Call-In Show, generally every other week. And I will be on there tomorrow, actually. I don't know when this is going to go up. I don't know if that's relevant to anybody by the time this segment goes up. But, just letting you know. And all that being said, I do think that Zohran Mamdani is killing it. He's doing wonderful, baby girl. And, I can't wait to see what he does next. What's The Line? It's a YouTube channel. It's a YouTube channel called The Line. One of the shows that they have is the Transatlantic Call-In Show that I occasionally co-host. Anyway, check it out. I also occasionally post clips of my debates on this channel too. Haven't done it in a while, not for any particular reason, but mostly because I haven't actually sat down and recorded the intros and outros for those yet. Sorry. We'll get on it, I promise. Anyway, you usually do Thursdays? Yeah, the Transatlantic Call-In Show is on Thursdays. Yeah, not a single one of these transphobes that come into my chat to be mean to me ever shows up.
May Zoran get the Sadie Khan effect and get more complaints and win by bigger margins every time, inshallah.
Hell yeah, Sake Tanuki. I'm hoping we see that boy in Congress. I'm hoping he works his way up. Let's see him as governor of New York. Let's see him as a member of the House of Representatives. Let's see him in the Senate. May he live long and prosper. And you know what? May we all. Folks, if you got anything out of this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Zohran Mamdani just having a grand old time making life better for New Yorkers. And also, get involved in your local politics. You can help find the local Mamdani for your area. I promise there are people like that out there everywhere. You just got to get involved and you got to get organized, okay? Join your local Dems, join your local DSA.
Sadiq Khan. We're almost at suckmatic levels of autocorrect.
Hey! Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs. If you need help getting started with DSA, if you need help getting started with your local Dems, join our Discord, reach out to GamerG for help getting started with DSA, reach out to Dragonfly for help getting started with your local Dems. We have folks all over in our community who have taken that step and are willing to help you and give you organizing tips. Come on in. The organizing's fine. And folks, last but not least, check out ImogeneOlivia.com. Gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes, tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It is comfortable, sexy, non-tucking lingerie. And we just got a full restock, 2 new sizes, a new color. Go check it out. ImogeneOlivia.com. Link down in the description. Let's keep on going.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather round. through swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, daily, plenty more. Your sense of fashion, you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat.